So now we're back in the car, and we're talking about Giga Mexico, and yes, it is time for me to eat some crow. That's fair. I'm working on the best information available. It's not always the best, it's not always the most information. So Giga Mexico is a thing that's happening. That doesn't negate the fact that the rumors were all contradictory and all over the place. And even if we come to say, yes, Reuteres was correct. They were correct. Giga Mexico, Monterrey, near Nuevo Leon. That doesn't negate all the wrong things that they reported, because they did report that it was going to be in Mexico City, which is ridiculous and makes no sense. They did report that the president had said there's no water, you can't build it near Monterrey. So at the very least, Reuteres is wrong 2/3 of the time, not 100%. What's crazy though is I'm getting dragged in the comments by all kinds of jackals who just found the channel for the first time, and they're like, "You, sir, are a great fool." And I'm putting that politely. I'm assuming I'm putting up on the screen what they've actually said. But that's not, and then I even had one guy go into an old video from like a year ago and say, but you are wrong. Jeff Bezos is not the richest man alive. It's like, what? Are you a time traveler? So yeah, Giga Mexico can happen. And part of the reason it can happen is because even with limited water, you've got places like Berlin where they're now able to produce a Tesla Model Y with fewer gallons of water than ever before. I'm going to say it's 550, but I'll put it up on the screen and you can drag me for being wrong about that too. Compared to a pair of blue jeans, which takes 1,200 gallons of water to make. What are you doing with all that water? It doesn't make sense. Now the question is, what are they going to build in Mexico? Because we don't know yet. It was strange to me that in a 4-hour presentation, they waited until after the intermission to get into the Q&A and be like, "Oh yeah, Giga Mexico." And if you're watching this, yes, Mexico Gigante. Muy bien. So that's all that. What am I missing on Mexico, you guys?
No idea, man.
Oh,
I just want my sombrero with Tesla on it.
Your Tesla sombrero. Sí, fantastico. Ed, what am I missing? What am I forgetting to mention on Mexico? Yeah, Brian got it for me. I remember now. The big element that was missing from the reason that Giga Mexico makes so much sense is that, well, the labor's lower. Yeah, the labor's not it. They build in Berlin profitably. They build in Fremont profitably. They build in Texas profitably. The labor's nice savings, but it's not necessary. They do have the expertise down there. They build a lot of cars and have for 30 years. They do have a reasonable enough infrastructure to get the cars to ports, to get them to other markets. But what they really have is free trade agreements. And you're thinking, yeah, we know that. You can send the car to Canada or the US tax-free. Do you know the US has something like 16 or 17 trade agreements, free trade agreements? And again, I'll put it up on the screen so I can be wrong about this too. But they've got like a lot of free trade agreements. Mexico has more like 50, something like 4 dozen-ish free trade agreements with South America, with the South Pacific, with Asian markets. So cars made in Mexico can be exported duty-free to 3 times as many countries as they can from the US, thereabouts. Let's not get into the ridiculous details on that. So that's the big thing that was missing, that all of us were overlooking, was the incredible number of free trade deals that were out there that could actually just make it work. So there we go. So I'll have a little after the outro bonus here. So stay tuned for that. But what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Leave it all in them comments below. Stay tuned, stay juicy, and I can't wait to see you after the credits. And of course, a quick thanks to my Patreons who get early access, bonus content, an ad-free experience, and to help keep the channel running for as little as $1 a month. And when I say early access, I have Patreons in this car who are getting the earliest access of all. So that is cool. So the after credit scene is we're driving down to Boca Chica to check out the Starbase. Probably get an interview or two with some of the local talent. And I mean talent. There's some really great, some of them call themselves stargazers, but people covering SpaceX and the Starship project. So that's going to be fun. Hopefully Jessica Kirsch will be available. Ellie in Space may be available. I've reached out to Tim Dodd, but everyone has, and I haven't heard from him because there are millions of me's and only one Tim Dodd. So maybe not everyday astronaut, but at least 6 days a week is my assumption. So we're going to go do that. And on this caravan, we've seen a lot of caravan. It's a one-car caravan, but we've seen other people who came into town for Investor Day who also rented a Hertz Tesla, who are now driving down to South Padre to check it out. So it's very fun. It's an unbelievable community. It's incredibly engaged, and I thank you all for being part of it. There we go.
Okay, and give us an after slate. Give us a clap.
Oh, mm-hmm. Yeah. And the after slate.
Yay. Cutting.